Have you ever looked up at the sky and seen something that just makes you stop? I'm talking about a splash of color so vibrant it looks like a piece of a rainbow somehow caught fire. It's one of those breathtaking sights that seems almost impossible. So what in the world is really going on up there? So what is it? The name most people use, fire rainbow, really nails the mystery, doesn't it? It has the colors of a rainbow, but it looks like a flame. But here's the thing. As we're about to find out, it's not actually fire, and it's not technically a rainbow either. It's one of nature's most beautiful and mind-bending optical illusions. All right, so first things first, let's pull back the curtain on this fiery myth. We're going to find out what's really happening thousands of feet up in the atmosphere that can create something so spectacular. And let's just get this out of the way right now. Despite that awesome name, there is absolutely zero fire involved. And it's not a true rainbow either. You see, a real rainbow happens when light bends through liquid raindrops. This phenomenon, though, needs something way, way colder. So, what do we call it? The official scientific name is a circumhorizontal arc. It's this incredible optical event, and the magic ingredients aren't raindrops at all. Nope. They're tiny, perfectly flat ice crystals just hanging out in those super high, wispy clouds we call cirrus clouds. So, how does this all come together? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a secret recipe. For the atmosphere to cook up a circumhorizontal arc, a very specific set of ingredients have to be in the right place at the right time. It really all comes down to these three things. First, the sun has to be crazy high in the sky. We're talking almost directly overhead. Second, you need those thin, wispy cirrus clouds. And the final, most important ingredient, those clouds have to be filled with tiny plate-shaped ice crystals, all lying flat, horizontally, like millions of tiny prisms just floating up there. And here's how it works. When the sun is way up there, its light comes down, enters the side of one of these little, flat, hexagonal ice crystals, and then shines out through the bottom. That tiny crystal acts just like a glass prism you'd use in science class, splitting the light into a full spectrum of color. Now, here's the really cool part. The reason the colors are so pure and vivid, it's all about precision. The light has to hit that ice crystal at a perfect 90-degree angle. It's that exact geometry that separates the colors so cleanly, which is why red is always on top, stretching out parallel to the horizon. Okay, so if it's just ice and sunlight, you might be thinking, why don't I see these all the time? Well, it turns out getting all those ingredients to line up perfectly is surprisingly rare for a huge portion of the planet. It all boils down to one single critical number. The sun has to be more than 58 degrees above the horizon. Think about that. That is incredibly high in the sky. If the sun is any lower than that, the light just can't hit those ice crystals at that magic 90-degree angle. And poof, no fire rainbow. And that 58-degree rule changes everything depending on where you live. If you're in the mid-latitudes, say most of the United States, you've got a pretty good shot at seeing one in the summer, especially around noon. But if you live in higher latitude places, like a lot of Europe, it's almost impossible because the sun simply never gets that high in the sky. In fact, there's basically a cutoff point. Once you get above 55 degrees north or south of the equator, your chances of ever seeing a circumhorizontal arc pretty much drop to zero. It's a fascinating reminder that some of nature's best shows are reserved for specific parts of the world. And that exact rarity is what turns a cool weather event into something more. It becomes a real bucket list item, a genuine reason for people to travel the globe, just to chase down this fleeting moment in the sky. Yeah, one of our sources actually puts it perfectly. It says, this phenomenon is fascinating. Hence, it attracts interest from people who cannot experience it in their regions. It has led to people visiting the tropics. It's literally tourism driven by awe and wonder. Pretty cool, right? So let's say you want to become an arc chaser yourself. What's the game plan? Well, first, you got to be in the right place, the tropics or the mid-latitudes. Next, you want to time your trip for the summer months. And then remember the key. Look up around midday when the sun is at its absolute highest point. That's your best shot. But hey, what if you can't just hop on a plane to the tropics? Don't worry, you can actually see this amazing effect for yourself by recreating a mini version of it right in your own kitchen. Let's do it. Okay, this is super easy. Grab any regular drinking glass and fill it almost all the way to the top with water. Now put it right on the edge of a table so some of it hangs over. You'll need a flashlight. Your phone's light works perfectly. Now just shine that light straight down through the water from a steep angle. So what's happening? You're basically doing the same thing as the atmosphere. The light bends, or refracts, once when it enters the water from the air, and then it bends again when it leaves the glass. That double bend splits the white light into its colors, and it projects this beautiful, colorful curve, a hyperbola, onto your wall. It's your very own artificial fire rainbow. And really, that simple little experiment shows how the same basic rule of physics, light bending as it passes through something, can create something absolutely spectacular, whether it's happening in a glass of water or through ice crystals miles above our heads. It really makes you wonder what other secrets are hiding up there in plain sight.